Good afternoon, everyone. Gabe Velazquez here with you, transparenttrading-solutions.com for a Tuesday post Labor Day. Doesn't seem like a lot changed, even with the volume supposedly coming back, right? Welcome, everybody. Again, give me a thumbs up. Get people to subscribe to the channel, put some commentary in the chat box. I have a newsletter every weekend if you want and interested in that, and I will be having a class coming up in the next probably 7-8 days. Okay, all right, let's get right into it. Again, not a lot changing. Big standouts today. Same themes we've been talking about: dollar, bonds, right? Higher rates. Bond, rates kicking higher, dollar breaking out, close to breaking out. One of the things interesting, though, the market kind of held in there today. The stock market held in there. S&P, NASDAQ hung in there. Let's get right into the charts without any kind of further ado here. Let's get right into the charts. In terms of the averages, let's share my screen here real quick. Again, the standout was, in fact, the dollar and bonds. In terms of the averages, not a lot really to go over. We are basically stuck in this little range, which is a bit surprising in the face of what's going on with the dollar and bonds. At least for today. Who knows if this is actually ready for a breakdown, or the fact that market keeps hanging in there is actually a mark of bullishness. It's tough to say, but you can see S&P kind of in a very tight range, 45, 42, more significantly holding 4,500 for the time being. Whether again, that remains to be seen if we can hang on to that. I think if the dollar keeps going the way it's going right now and rates take out the 10-year takes out another new high, then we probably should get some further break here. We also have the VIX hit 13 again and come up a little bit. So there is some little bit of fear coming into the market, not a lot, but the fact that we keep pushing down at 13 and coming right back up. I mean, nothing to, I think, really until we break above 18, the prior high in the VIX, there really is not going to be much anything. So, but in any event, let's just move through the indexes really quickly here. Not a lot really to talk about since again, you can see just another choppy day. So we've got 3 days of chop, 3 days of range trading. Again, the significant level on the NASDAQ would be 15,400. If we can hang on to that. The NASDAQ was actually the outperformer today relative to the rest of the indexes. The Dow just kind of flat, did break down. So the Dow did show some weakness here. Actually, I'm going to take that off. That's really not that great. We've got some lower levels, but the Dow did kind of underperform today, and also the Russell hanging tough. I wrote about that this weekend. Russell also pulling back, but just kind of was barely, was kind of unchanged a little bit here. Maybe some buying opportunities in the Russell, but it's starting to move here. So the Russell also forming some new levels here. That's also not that great, so I'm gonna pull that off. But hopefully we start getting, now that the volume's coming back, seasonals are bad. That doesn't mean anything. We'll see if this actually turns out to be something more significant as well. Again, the big standout, bonds. Let's get into that. See, bonds maybe going to try to touch that October lows again. We had a nice rally. Looks like now we're headed right back down, and perhaps even going lower in the 30-year. Wouldn't surprise me in the least if we did that. First, we see, we've already attempted these lows once, 3 times, and then popped again. The next low beyond that is about 2 points lower than that on the 30-year. 10-year also, you can see that's kind of hanging in there. We got that 108.24 is the next support level, and then yields. Looks like the yields might go higher. So that's one thing to look at here. You're very close to the highs. You got to line that up with the 10-year though. If the 10-year doesn't hold, yields are going to go much higher. And then on the shorter end of the, they didn't go down as far as the. So it's all, again, it really is in the longer end of the yield curve. That's where all the selling is happening. And again, that's probably because we have a bunch of supply coming online here in the next couple of weeks. Again, big standout, the dollar just continues moving higher. You can see another break above last week's high. We're right up. We actually broke that high. Next level on the dollar is not for another, I'd say another 50, 60 points. This in turn, by the way, is if you, I always like to say, if you're trading currencies in the futures markets or metals or any, and you're not looking at the dollar, yeah, you're obviously not getting an edge. So the fact that this we have higher dollar simply means that all of the currencies move lower all across the board. You can see the yen. Looks like the yen is going to probably take out the lows here, and this is not, this is not positive for stocks. Again, a little surprising today that stocks hung in there, especially the S&P and the NASDAQ. Whether that persists is going to be probably we'll know by the end of the week here. But you can see just across the board, all of the currencies are falling to some extent. Clearly, the Swissy, we're trying to get long Swissy here. We're probably gonna end up pulling this because it's if the dollar keeps going higher, any longs really are not going to work out, more or less. And then Aussie also. So just across the board, just lots of weakness across the board with the dollar gaining. Peso, I think I talked to you guys about Friday. That was kind of resisting the correlation. In other words, the dollar, as the dollar was gaining before, or the dollar was falling, the peso would actually rally. But again, they did lift that hedge, and now you can see even the dollar got hit pretty badly today. In fact, we were trying to get short up here, and obviously missed that by a few ticks. And now it's we do have some levels below to consider, and then we have Canada on Wednesday announcing their latest rate announcement. Also, all the again metals, as you know, those are counter as the dollar gains. Usually the metals will fall off across the board. You can see silver in particular at a big sell-off. Again, coming close to some of these levels, just not getting there. We just kind of came right up against these prior peaks and then fell off. We do have some decent looking levels below on silver, and also copper fell off. Copper's kind of hanging in there as well. We talked about oil on Friday, finally breaking above this. No levels until in the low 90s. Quality levels to short against. Getting a little extended here on the. We are getting a little extended on the oil, but again, there isn't a lot to short against, and pullbacks probably down to about at this point, I think maybe a pullbacks down into the 80s or even down to the 70s. Probably his 80 looks really good to me right here, and then we don't have anything until we get up into this area here. Yeah, nat gas just dead in the water. Nothing really to talk about there. Just anyway. And then soybeans and all the grain markets also just very choppy. So all in all, again, today was kind of a choppy day. I'm going to be really fascinated to see how long in the midst of a rising dollar, rising interest rates, how long the market can hang in there. It's generally speaking, that will eventually have to give way. Something's got to give. Either the rates are going to come back off, dollar's going to pull back, and so on. But maybe again, it's positioning or whatever. Maybe too many people are starting to get bearish. The VIX jumping over 14 was interesting today, but you can see just a lot of chop all over the place. We were in OKTA. I think I mentioned that on Friday. We did close that out for a nice profit. Even under the surface, some of these tech stocks, it's really just a mixed bag, really. I mean, on one hand, you've got some of the retailers, even in the retail sector, it's really interesting, because on one hand, you got Lulu, did really well from Friday, from the earnings. We've got Walmart near all-time highs on one hand, and then on the other hand, you got these, Dollar General, Dick's Sporting Goods just getting annihilated, really, from last week and their earnings and so forth. So just a really mixed bag all across the board. Energy stocks obviously did well today. So yeah, just an interesting situation. The dollar's probably has one more surge, and the fact that we've had these dollar moves and then they end up petering out. There's some really good opportunities coming up in the currency markets, I believe, in oil and even in the indexes, if we can get some kind of action going on here, if it can break 4,500, which so far, again, it's kind of hanging in there. So in any event, that's going to do it. Again, not a lot to talk about. There are opportunities. I think if you look at the currency markets, there's going to be some great opportunities there. Again, in interest rates, I'm still looking at TLT 10-year, perhaps for a long. Remember, there is still record shorts on the 10-year, so keep that in mind if you're aggressively trying to short the bond market. Other than that, have a great rest of your week. I'll see you on Friday. Okay. And again, leave me some commentary. If you want to spend a few days for free with our members, by all means, hit the link below or contact us at support@transparenttradesolutions.com. Okay. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you on Friday. Take care.